all new, and I'm like, I'm so used to having them memorized, and I could just go off and do this. This one is a third-person story account, which you might figure out eventually, but this is called Why I Didn't See God. I would be walking home from school, and the next thing I'd know is that I was flying an airplane again, and the weather was really awful this time, and I had to take a terrible turn and to try to get through this air maze, and I could feel the controls shaking in my hands, but before I had the chance to land, I would be walking again, almost at my friend's house. Same clothes, no school books, and I wonder how I got there. And where was that plane? I remember walking through the fields behind my parents' house and seeing a missile flying through the sky. I stood and watched as the missile landed across the field, and the mushroom cloud from the nuclear explosion started to rise. I just watched in amazement as I could feel the shock wave race through the field, push through my body before I felt the first wave of heat rip through me. I can't remember seeing the foliage burning, but I remember feeling my skin burn. Looking down at my hands, I'd feel the skin singe and start to disintegrate, and the sickly, sweet smell, I couldn't shake it till I finally closed my eyes. I opened my eyes, and my friends were in the field with me. I didn't know why they were all looking at me, till I looked down and saw the ball in my hand. And knew they were waiting for me to pitch the ball. I was medicated for years, and I couldn't even get my driver's license right away because of seizures. But I could smell my skin from the nuclear blast. I could feel the shake from the plane controls course up my arms. I watched the nuclear blast, felt my plane nosedive. I knew that happened. And the doctors would ask me if I hear voices in my head or if I'd hear someone calling my name. And the answer was yes. But things have changed since then. The doctors deduced that I wasn't schizophrenic. I didn't have a psychological disorder. I guess that's their way of saying that I'm sane. And I no longer got those hallucinations. But recently, learning from a philosophy book discussing visions that the saints saw, I always thought those were hallucinations that were from people who had fasted for weeks but were allowed to only drink beer. That's my guess. But the book credited a number of scientists who hypothesized that these saintly visions were products of temporal lobe seizures, many small seizures. I was an altar boy. I was thinking of becoming a priest. And I think of these visions that preceded men's saintshood. I think of my memories of brushes with death. And it just makes me wonder, in all of my memories, why I didn't see God. I was never an altar boy.